You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Switched at Birth After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Switched at Birth After Show.
Hey! Rocking out. Hey, Switched at Birth fans. Welcome to the Switched at Birth After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Yael, Tygiel, and with me, of course, is Melina, Alves. Let's jump into this episode, which is going to be happier than last week.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, not necessarily, maybe not happy, but more lively.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of things.
I was expecting it to be really dark.
But last week was, as everyone commented on our YouTube, really sad.
It was really sad, but then the preview just made it seem like it was just going to be drama.
It felt like, I'm going to keep bouncing the beat. It felt like this week was going to be a spiral for everyone. And it was, I guess, a spiral, but not for everyone. So let's jump into it. We start 2 weeks after what had happened. It's 2 weeks after Angela's death. That's bring down the mood again. And Angela's mom had sent a note saying that Bay has a second cousin in Chicago. And so Catherine and John decided it's a genius idea that Bay and Daphne go to Chicago. That way they can look at Northwestern, do a college tour, and Bay can go see her second cousin, and tell him what happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because the episode just started, right? And nobody's eating. And I'm texting, right, while I'm listening. And then all of a sudden I just hear John's voice. And he's like, yeah, let's go. And I look up and I'm like, wait, why are we happy? What's going on? So I thought that was kind of, because I think in a real world, I think that's really what a parent maybe would do. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what a parent would do. Like, just try to liven the mood. Yeah, distract you. That's a good way to put it. And I thought it was not the greatest idea to just up and go to Chicago, but it added to a very interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I totally see why they would do it. These girls are moping around, which is a reasonable reaction, and like no one's saying they shouldn't, but as parents you want to help them work through it, and a distraction could be helpful, sending them out of town. Right. So John and Bay and Daphne get packed up. Of course, Catherine brings snacks, and
a lot of snacks.
Yeah, ridiculous. Well, because they're not eating.
No
one's eating.
No, for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So they get sent on their adventure. Regina gets left behind, and Catherine stays to watch over her. And Toby also stays.
Yes.
Because Toby has a gig, which we will get to.
Yes.
But his first DJ gig. So Regina, thankfully, decides she needs to go to a meeting.
Yeah, which was untouched last week.
Yes, and that was something that I'd said, they have to do something about it. They have to say something.
Yeah, and they did.
They did. Thank you. Thank you, Switched at Birth writers, for not ignoring this very important thing.
Right, yeah, that she needed to go to a meeting. I don't feel like that was all that was said, but that's fine. Yeah. I don't think, it didn't seem like up to this point she had slipped. Right. It didn't seem like it. She was just in a really bad place. Which is expected. Yeah, and there's the tension between her and Daphne, which we'll get into. But I want to talk about Catherine, who is taking care of Regina, and who shows up. It's Leo and Abby, Angela's daughter. Yes. And Catherine, offers to help and take care of them while Regina goes to a meeting and entertain. And we get to learn a lot about Leo and Abby, and that Victor left Leo, and that Angela's gone now. So Abby went from 3 dads to 1. Yeah. And that she's kind of aware. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She knows that he's away on a meeting. And he's at a business meeting. Yeah.
She can't even speak.
Yeah.
It's adorable because Catherine was being so serious when she looked at Leo and she's like, does she know?
I was like, who?
Me too. And then he's like, she thinks she's away at a meeting. And I was like, well, are they talking about Abby, the 1-year-old? Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that she's aware that a face that she sees all the time isn't there. I don't think she's aware. Like, even he's at a meeting. Well, anyway, it's just... I want to talk about babies. But,
it's hilarious.
But so... Now that Leo's kind of single, Catherine has the bright idea, and I just want to point something out.
Please.
Catherine goes, this is a single gay man. I know a single gay man. They would be perfect together. That's what she does.
Yeah.
Not, they might have stuff in common, or they might really like each other. No.
Just the sexuality, that's it.
You're single gay men. Let me hook this up.
Yep.
So she calls Renzo, who we haven't seen in a while. I've missed him.
Yeah.
And sends a picture of Leo. And, of course, he's like, heck yeah, I'm there. And Renzo shows up, and he's like, I'm cooking. Get out of the kitchen. I got this.
How did he do it? It was hilarious. Like, I'm Lorenzo. Renzo. And he was a hot mess.
Yeah.
Now... He's the same guy. He was the assistant on Entourage, right? Or no? Am I thinking of... Did you used to watch Entourage?
I did not watch Entourage. Please don't hate me, people.
Wow. You should start.
I know. It's on my list. Okay. But so Renzo goes crazy. He cooks. He drinks. He makes dinner.
Yeah.
And Leo doesn't drink.
Doesn't cook.
Doesn't cook.
Doesn't dance.
Doesn't dance. Has a baby, which Renzo is not into.
Nope.
Yet... Renzo is like, he's perfect for me. Okay.
Well, he did mention he is the epitome of all men that he lusts for. So it's more of a sexual than...
So more of a he's attractive.
Yeah.
Sure.
Of course, because they had nothing in common.
Yeah, no.
Other than the fact that they're both gay and single.
Yeah.
But Leo's not really single.
No.
You can't put him in that category of just single men, because he's not.
He's separated from his partner.
And he's a daddy.
He's a daddy.
Yeah.
Yes. So that mess happens. But on the...
It was cute, sorry. When Renzo is talking, he's got beans in one hand and spills... He's like, I spilled the beans. Great moment.
Yes. I also love that he's drunk and Catherine says, like, you're 3 glasses of wine, you're clearly drunk.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you home. And he points out, like, I get crazy when I'm around someone I like. And I know that he's not the only person that happens to. You meet someone and you start like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I can't speak around you because I find you attractive.
Right.
And so Catherine drives him home, and when she comes back, Leo has cleaned the kitchen.
Really well.
Yeah.
Wow.
As though he brought someone in to clean it.
It was, and he just had rubber gloves and 1 spray bottle, and we saw what that looked like when Renzo left. Mm-hmm. Pretty impressed, actually.
Yeah. I was actually thinking to myself, like, Catherine's going to have to clean this up. Like, that was my thought when she offered to drive Renzo home. I was like, oh, man, she's going to have to clean this crap up.
It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Keep her busy. She has a lot of free time on her hands.
Yeah, and I think that that's why she really is attracted to being with Leo and Abby, is that her kids are grown up and they're moving out and they're living lives. Mm-hmm. And so there's a baby who needs her. And I guess that's why, like, parents will be pressuring you when you get older, for those who aren't there yet, to give them grandkids because they're bored.
Because they're...
That's really what it is. They need someone to take care of.
Yeah.
And they're bored.
You know, I agree with that because my parents are not bored, and the last thing on their mind is grandchildren, to the point where they're like, you're not planning on, anytime soon. Yeah. And I was like, no. But it's funny, the more I watch Switched at Birth, the more I get that little... Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
It's so bad. It's like this little feeling, and I know there's listeners that can understand this. It's like a feeling and a tiny little voice that's like, I want a family. You don't get that when you watch Switched at Birth?
Nope.
Wow.
I don't get that ever.
Really?
Yes.
I wish I was like, maybe I need to drink before I watch Switched at Birth and get nice and... Here, let me drink that.
All right, yeah, you drink that. And I'm going to take this moment to talk about iTunes for a second. We as you can tell, are fans of the show. You saw last week we got real emotional, and this week we're having a little more fun because we're big fans of the show, and we love doing this. We love talking about it, and we want to keep doing it. So what can you do to help us? Well, we're not asking for money. I mean, we'll take it, but we're not asking for it. All we need you to do is go on to iTunes and rate and review the show. Not just click the stars, but please click the stars. Also write a review. Let us know what you like. Let us know you don't want us to do any episodes that are super depressing. Please comment also on YouTube. So reminder, iTunes, if you like us, give us 5 stars. If you don't like us, give us 4 stars. And write a review. Tell us why you don't like us. Tell us why you love us. Also on YouTube. What else? That's it. Do all that. Because then we get to do things like giveaways, which we're working on, and trying to get guests in. As many people know, we have said on the show we would love to have a lot of guests in. So we're trying to get them here.
But we need your help.
We do. We need your comments and your likes and your 5 stars. That's what we need. Let's get back to the show.
Where were we?
We were in Chicago on the campus tour.
I moved here from Chicago.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, that's a cool little tidbit. So when they said they were going to Chicago, I was really excited, but I was nervous that they weren't going to be on location. But they were.
They were?
They were. That was the Northwestern campus, 100%.
Oh.
I was kind of excited.
Is it true? Do you know if it's true that Northwestern was built on a landfill? That is a thing?
That's a thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was kind of excited. I mean, obviously the part where they're in the dorm rooms, I don't know if they were really in the dorm rooms, but where they pushed the... Well, let's talk about it instead of just talk about location.
Well, let's start with... let's start with Daphne. She does her Northwestern tour, and then John asks where the pre-med building is, and she's like, whatever, let's go. And the tour guide is like, I'm pre-med, there's a mixer. And so John is like, go, you're going to the mixer. And she's like, I don't want to. And he's like, you're going. So she goes. And I love the comparison later when we talk about Bay, when she was like, I'm going to go up and see my cousin.
Yeah.
He's my second cousin. And he's like, not alone. And she's like, well, you let Daphne go alone. And he goes, he's not going to get her into any trouble. And as we met this guy whose name I don't even remember.
Oh, wow, neither do I.
Yeah, that tells you a lot about him. Daphne's new friend shows her his dorm. And then nothing happens, obviously, and he explains his life and how he came to the U.S. from China, and then he doesn't see his parents. They just send checks, and he keeps his grades up, and he's, just working his way through school. And then they smell pot, and it's his neighbor, and so she's like, let's go get high.
Pause.
Yes.
Here's my thought, okay? I know Daphne was really distraught from last week's episode.
Yeah.
But I felt like as a viewer, I didn't really see like this. It was really random from her to go from just being Daphne and just kind of upset to let's get high. I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. Like I understood the booze thing, but I felt like it went from like a 4 to a 10, like really quick. I
disagree.
Of course.
But I disagree only halfway. So I disagree. I think that her like emotions are crazy, and she needs to let it out and have an outlet, and she drinks, right?
Yeah.
She's done it before. That's not a deal. That's not different for her.
Yeah.
Because Daphne is kind of more of a bad girl than Bay, is what we know, right? Like
bizarre, right?
Yeah. Well, not really. But so Daphne, was sexually active before Bay was. She was drinking before Bay was. She had a friend who rode a motorcycle. She was, from the wrong side of the tracks. There's air quotes on that for those listening. And so she has done worse, air quotes again, things than Bay. And so when she wants to not feel it, she's going to get high because she gets drunk all the time, and that's nothing. So she's going to get high because that's what the next step. The fact that they go to the neighbor, and this is where I'm agreeing with you, that it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't have any weed, but I've got Coke. And she goes, Coke? Okay. Like that. Coke is a huge step from weed.
Yes, yes.
And I say that as someone who doesn't do drugs, but it is a huge step.
Right.
To go from one, and yes, pot can be considered a gateway drug.
Right.
But I don't believe Coke would be the next level.
No. Especially, has she done weed? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think she's smoked pot before.
No, because she seemed very childishly curious about the weed, right? So to go straight to the Coke and then just be so okay with it, I feel like if they're not going to pursue that path of Daphne and drugs, it was a really crappy place to even put it in. I don't understand.
I get her needing an outlet. I don't get her saying yes to... Because I'm going to be honest. There are other ways to get pot, not just from that one guy.
Yes. Especially in Chicago.
Yeah.
Kind of a big city. So
also, you're on a college campus.
Right.
You can get pot pretty much anywhere.
Not promoting it, however.
We're just saying that you didn't have to do Coke.
Yeah, just because you can't find pot doesn't mean you have to do Coke. And what if you would have said heroin?
Right, I was thinking the same thing.
She would have been like, heroin?
Okay. Yeah, let's inject.
Okay.
So,
poor Daphne.
And then she's talking with the tour guide, whose name we don't know, and she hates his chair, and he hates his chair.
Yeah.
So they decide to throw it off the roof. She tells him we're going to throw it off the roof. And when she throws it and they almost hit those people, all I could think was, oh my God, they're going to hit someone. They're going to hit someone. And then they almost hit someone.
Right.
And I was like, they should have hit someone.
That would have been...
Yeah.
No, that would have been so bad. I really thought they were going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised those people didn't say anything to anyone.
Yeah.
Or, maybe the next day when, I don't know, somebody's cleaning up the campus and they're like, hey, there's a broken chair out here. Could have only come from the roof. So I thought it was really bizarre that just kind of went unseen, unheard, or whatever.
It's also really bizarre that this entire episode, she's on drugs and there are no consequences.
None.
It's very surprising for an ABC Family show to have this happen. And hopefully there will be consequences because when we see her and Bae get back together, she says to Bae's like, are you okay? And she's like, I did some Coke.
Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And Bae is like, are you crazy? That's addictive. And it is.
Yeah.
I've Googled and... yeah, like a lot of people get addicted off the first time. So that's not something you play with.
Yeah.
That's why I say that if ABC is not going to build that into some sort of story with Daphne, now she's doing drugs. I guess she skips from alcohol straight to cocaine.
Yeah.
I don't understand the purpose of having this on the show today.
Yeah.
Didn't really get it.
Right. I'm surprised that they didn't have her. I'm going to relate this to Pretty Little Liars real quick.
Yeah.
There's recently on Pretty Little Liars, somebody went through a really bad breakup and realization of some terrible things. And she went and got super drunk and had inappropriate relationships. Yeah. And that is what I expected to see.
Yeah, me
was
too.
a scene just like that.
Me too. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that.
Well, it's an ABC Family show. It's very similar.
Very.
So let's talk about what Bae is doing during Daphne's Coke experience. Bae goes to find her second cousin, whose name is Sebastian. And I tried to look this up, and I'm not sure. Is that Jack Carpenter from Sydney White? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. What happened when you Googled?
It wasn't available on IMDb yet, but it may or may not have been Jack Carpenter, who was on Sydney White, who played Sneezy, is what I'm going to call him. So
interesting.
Hopefully that was him, but I don't know. So she goes to the apartment and she buzzes him and she says, I emailed you. And then he lets her tell him what happened through the buzzer on the door.
Yeah.
What did you think about this?
I thought the whole scene was bizarre, especially with her walking up. And first she looks through the window, right? And she sees him. And I thought, oh, crap, she's going to find him attractive. But she didn't, I don't think. I hope not.
No.
And then she buzzes him, and, she's being Bae. Hi.
Yeah.
And she finally gets it out. And then he's like, go on. And I thought for sure she was going to say, okay, will you let me in? Or can you meet me at the door?
I should tell you in person.
But it was the same thing with Grandma again. Just, your son's dead. Okay, let me say goodbye to him on the phone, even though he can't hear me. I mean, it's just, it was so strange. But I think it's actually kind of cool because you get to see how this family is not very together, even though maybe their hearts are together. The family wasn't. And Bea, I think, just from her actions and her behavior and just how needy she was of Angelo, that she craves that connectivity.
I think you're right. I think you're right in that the Sorrento family is very spread out. I mean, up until this point, we didn't know he even had a mother or this cousin. Because the Kennish and the Vasquez family, we have met almost all the members.
Right.
We've met the grandparents. We've met the aunts and uncles.
Right.
So to see the Sorrento family is so spread out and separate, it's probably really hard for her.
I agree. And I think it was just awkward her to tell him the whole thing. I actually thought they were going to have somebody walk past while she was saying it, and they were going to like look at her weird, and she's, it would have been funny. But they didn't. And then as soon as she says, and he's gone, he's dead, then he buzzes her in, which at that point, it's even beyond awkward because I just told you everything over the intercom. Right. So now what are we going to talk about?
Well, so she comes in and they talk a bit, and she breaks a one of a kind vase.
It was beautiful. Most beautiful vase I've ever seen in my life.
That one that she broke?
Yeah, that one of a kind vase was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she feels guilty and offers to pay for it.
Right.
So she goes, of course, to John.
ATM.
Yeah. And I'm glad he says, I'm not an ATM.
Yeah.
Then again, at that point, what are they going to do? He's going to pay for it.
And I think he said things like that before, but still gives them the money.
I feel like this time it was unnecessary.
Yes.
And it was not the time.
Right. I agree.
Anyway, so he gives her the money, and he's like, I'm going in if I'm going to pay for this vase. And good thing he does. They talk, they meet. We find out that Sebastian and Angelo weren't actually close.
No.
They lived together, but Angelo didn't pay rent. Angelo was a moocher. Angelo was always looking for the next payday and the next, easy money. And so as soon as he read the story about the switch at birth, and he goes home and does the lawsuit, and Bea defends him. But I think it gives us a little bit of a different side of Angelo.
I didn't like it.
Everyone is complicated.
I agree, but he's dead. And I feel like we didn't need to make him, I don't know. I just didn't like it. I was like, the man's dead. Can't his memory be a good one? I don't know.
It worries me that we're going to keep uncovering.
I know. I don't like that path.
Because you want to remember him as the good guy.
I think Bea needs to remember him as the good guy for her own sanity in life and relationships and being a mother someday. Like, I just don't feel the need to have Angelo be that guy. Why? I just don't get it. I mean, we have enough that guys on the show already. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Well, we also find out that Angelo had a sister, Francesca, who died at 18 of an aneurysm.
She looks just like Bea.
Yeah, and that it's hereditary.
Yeah.
So Bea, of course, is freaking out internally.
Because didn't mention a thing to mom or dad.
Well, she's not going to, she didn't tell them when she didn't get into Pratt.
I know, but this is life or death. Like, she really needs to tell someone.
Bea isn't the kind of person to tell someone when something happens.
She's in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hated that because as soon as he started talking about the aneurysm, my first thought was, Bea's not going to tell her parents.
No, of course not.
And this is something that you should, especially since your dad just died and then your aunt died. I feel like this is something that needs to be monitored.
Yeah.
So hopefully Bea will play adult, I don't know, and then do the right thing and tell someone. Not her coked out sister, but someone else.
Daphne's not coked out yet. She just tried it. I can't.
Have you seen Friday After the Next? Like,
I can't allow Daphne to go down that path and become a cokehead.
Oh, poor Bea.
I just can't allow it. So, Bea is worried. Eventually, when Bea and Daphne get back together, Bea is worried about Regina, and Daphne tells Bea about what happened the night that
Right.
Angelo died, and that there was a big fight, and that she blames Regina.
Right. And I think Bay's reaction was so natural and perfect, because what other way would you react than? But it wasn't purposefully.
Yeah.
It wasn't on purpose. It's not her fault.
Yeah.
She didn't know. And then what did you think about Daphne's reaction to it all? Just her getting up and you're taking their side and just blowing up.
I think that they're both handling this in understandable ways. They're both handling it in very different ways.
Yes.
I definitely understand why Daphne is blaming Regina and why she feels that way. And I think later when she comes home and the lemon cake is gone, I totally understand why she blew up like that. I think, unfortunately, until Regina and Daphne sit down and talk about it, it's never going to get better. And I think Bay it's somehow switched between them, in that when last week Bay was the one who's like, we have to keep him alive. We can't let anything happen. It's all emotion.
Right.
And Daphne was like, logically, he's brain dead. This is what happened.
Right.
And this week we're switching.
Yeah.
And Bay is like, look, it was an aneurysm. It was, medical. It was something we
Right.
couldn't control. Daphne's going the other way.
Right.
It was Regina's fault. It was a fight. It was this.
Yeah.
So interesting that they switched.
It is interesting that they switched. And I think on Daphne's part, I think she's harboring more resentment towards her mom than she lets off, as far as, Angelo could have maybe been a part of, her life.
Yeah.
Or she could have maybe met the Kennishes at an earlier age and had a completely different life.
Yeah.
So I can totally understand and relate to that. So when I think about it, if my mom, got into a fight with my dad, they're not married, and it caused him to die, it would be hard for me to just logically look at her and say, you know what?
Yeah.
It wasn't your fault. Unless we had that type of relationship where there was no resentment from that moment, up till that moment. And it's been a very honest and open relationship. So I can understand that part of Daphne. Again, but the whole let's do coke and all that crap, I don't know.
Yeah.
That part's a little hard to swallow. But
I mean,
everything else, yeah, I get it.
I know that there are times when people go through something and they need an outlet.
Yeah.
And
I
they
agree.
need to clear their head and not think, and that is one way that people do it.
Unfortunately.
Yes. I want to talk about Toby, because Toby and that whole situation needs to be talked about. So Toby has his first gig. He needs 20 people to show up to the first gig, and it'll become a regular thing. So he's working on his new song, which didn't sound the way I expected a Euro techno song to be. That was not Euro techno.
No.
But that's not the point.
He's beginner, though,
Yeah.
so maybe.
Which is also surprising me. I expected it to be even more annoying techno.
Yeah.
But his neighbor upstairs, Lily, comes down and she's like, look, this is the one day I get to sleep in. Turn that crap off.
Yeah.
And he makes, I think, the most genius deal ever. He goes,
Yeah.
if you bring 5 friends, I will never play anything before noon again.
Right.
And she's like, no, stupid deal. Greatest deal ever.
Pushes the flyer back to Toby, which this part didn't make sense to me later in the episode. Because he hands her the flyer.
Yeah.
She hands it back.
And then she ends up there.
Yeah.
You were wondering how she knew where to go?
Right. 'Cause she didn't even look at it.
Maybe she caught a glimpse. I don't know. So
It was weird.
this neighbor, Lily,
Yes.
who we don't know where she came from.
Yeah, she just, whoa, hi.
Yeah. And then we get to the club. Emmett and Mary Beth are there. And then they see Tank is also at the bar, club, wherever this place is. The venue. Tank is there drinking, and he's pretty drunk. And he comes over to Mary Beth, says hello, and assumes that Emmett is Travis.
Right.
Which was genius on their part, but of course it was going to backfire.
Right, of course.
And so he's very excited, very nice to meet him, asks about Bay. Toby tells him about Angelo. Tank is like, oh, Mr. Kennish. No, her biological father, Tank. Pay attention. I said her dad died,
Yes.
not my dad died. Come on, Tank. Listen.
Yes.
And then we see that Tank is drinking, and Emmett goes off to get some waters for Mary Beth, and Travis shows up.
Of course.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to show up all, making out on the dance floor, but, you know.
I mean, they are the cutest couple.
Yeah, they are.
I do love them so much.
I know you do.
So Tank pulls aside Emmett and is like, oh my God, she's cheating on you. And Emmett is like, okay, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, something about a cat.
Yeah. Women have claws, something about a cat. And then
that was funny.
Tank, feeling bad for Emmett, gives him a beer.
Mm-hmm.
His beer.
Yeah. Mm.
His half-drinking beer.
Mm.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Drunk Tank is dumb.
Really dumb.
I just want that noted.
I know.
So
Sober Tank.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, drunk Tank. Really bad. Yeah.
So Miss Summers from school shows up, and that's when we realize that Lily, Toby's neighbor, is Miss Summers.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Biggest reveal of the night.
I'm sure other people actually probably picked up on that when we first met her.
Probably.
I was like...
I'm like, who's this?
Yeah. I was like, why are there two British ladies? There are two British brunettes that are about the same like height and build. That's weird.
That's weird.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, bizarre.
My bad, guys. They're the same person. And she sees Emmett holding the beer and lectures him. And, like, for some reason, no one tells her the situation.
Yeah, which is very strange.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as soon as she gets up from the table, I was like, great. She's going to say something to Emmett. Great. She's going to name drop. But she was good up until, like, the very last sentence.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man. But I expected there to be a fight between Tank and Emmett.
Well, Tank swings, and he's so drunk, and I love that Emmett just ducks.
What would, why not?
Yeah, because he's slow and drunk.
Yeah, and Emmett's little. You don't want to get hit by Tank.
Yeah.
No.
And now he's used to getting into fights.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys. So Tank swings, misses, and at the end of the night, Toby drives Tank home, or takes him home, really, and he goes home, and Lily, Miss Summers, also needs a ride home back to where they both live. Yeah. They carry Tank home, and then they have a dumb conversation. Well, first, Miss Summers...
I almost got that up my nose.
First, Miss Summers sees the field hockey photo. It's like, oh, Carlton, I teach there. I just got hired. And they're like, oh, dun, 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 love. And then Tank and Toby have a dumb conversation.
Really dumb conversation.
Tank explains how his roommates don't even like him and that there's drama because he, was the guy in the frat who ratted out his frat, and now he's not. He depledged, and life is so hard for Tank.
It's really tough.
Yeah. So Toby, for whatever reason, offers Tank to move in with him.
That was just so strange. Yeah, because Tank is laying on the couch and is like, you got a really nice place here, man.
Yeah.
I could just sleep here for days. Well, this is okay.
You should move in.
Let's do this. It won't be awkward at all.
You didn't happen to date my little sister, and then she cheated on you, and then you got drunk at my show and almost beat up her new boyfriend.
Let's not talk about that at all.
No. Also, you're some dumb college kid. I mean, I guess they are around the same age.
Still.
Also, that's a one-bedroom apartment, and he's renting up the living room.
It's just weird. I don't understand why, but I guess it just adds to potential drama. I don't know. Tank must have been beloved amongst the fans, and they're like, we gotta keep him in.
Well, you love Tank, and you didn't want him to leave.
No.
And it seems he's not.
He's here forever.
Yeah.
I just don't... Obviously, this isn't gonna go well at all. And I don't see Tank being that great of a roommate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So I think that's just gonna put Toby in a really awkward place. And good for him, I guess.
I think that Tank is going to unintentionally convince Toby to go to school.
Oh, that's a good thing, though.
I think Toby's going to see Tank and Tank's lifestyle of partying and, sometimes going to classes and being the frat boy, even without the frat. And I think it's going to convince Toby that he should go to school.
Do you think Toby looks like a sleazy car salesman?
I think with that stupid stuff on his face, he does. Yeah, Toby continues. I even made a note, Toby still has junk on his face.
Yeah. It's bizarre. So yeah, when the episode started with Toby in the in his dorm room, doing like the techno music. Well, I don't know what he was doing, but the music. I thought he could never be a DJ. Look at him. He looks like a sleazy car salesman.
It's weird because his hair is like brushed to the side in his like boyish way.
Yeah.
And then he's got that crap on his face.
It's really bizarre. I'm surprised like, the producers are okay with it.
I think they did it on purpose.
I hope not.
Well, because it's like a French artist. It's got like a pointed, like a beatnik kind of guy. No, he looks silly.
Yeah.
We really want people to comment and let us know if they agree that Toby looks silly with whatever's on his face.
Yes.
And I like that I won't refer to it as what it is.
I know. There's junk.
Junk on his face. So in the final moments of the episode, Daphne and Bay are back. And Catherine says to Leo, I know that this is hard for you, but you're part of our family. And Abby is part of the family, and we're here. And we will take care of her. We'll come to St. Louis to see her. You guys can come here anytime you want. And I love that. I love that their family just grows, and it's like weird.
I know.
It's not like they go to their cousins and are like, you should come join us. It's like, these people that are half related, you are now part of the family.
Right.
And you are now part, and they're like sucking up this family until it's this huge, kingdom of Kennish.
Kennish.
The Kennish kingdom.
But it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll add us on. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. Kennishes, we would love to be adopted.
Please.
Yeah. So Bay sits down with Abby and her mom, and she says, I went all the way to find a Sorrento. I have a Sorrento right here.
Yeah, but that's not really what happened, though. She didn't go over there to find a Sorrento. She went there to deliver some bad news. Yeah. But it was a sweet moment.
I think she hoped that even through the tragedy, she'd have another family member. Of course.
And she was even, we didn't even talk about that. We did. How she was just asking so many questions about her dad and Mr. Sebastian, right?
Sebastian.
Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was disappointing. But... yeah, and it was kind of sad to hear her say, and I wonder what else we have in common. Oh, because Catherine said you guys have the same eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, but...
no, definitely not. But also Daphne comes back and sees Regina, and Regina is still trying to make it work with her. She asks her how it was, and Daphne is so furious about the lemon cake and everything else. It's not about the lemon cake, but that is a huge deal. And she tells her, I did coke. And then she storms off.
Yeah, she said, you want to know what I did this weekend or how my trip went? I got high. I got very high. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Spank her? I don't know.
No, I love that she said it. I love that she's not even like, I'm not going to hide anything. I'm not going to pretend this didn't happen. I'm upset with you. I'm peeved at you.
Yeah.
I blame you. And I am spiraling, is what she said.
Yeah, she did. She said all of that in that one sentence. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what Regina does.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I think that might be a good time to talk about the giveaway.
We're still doing that?
Yeah, we are. Oh. We're still doing a giveaway, guys. And what you need to do to win the ABC Family Fan, which is still very useful this summer. It is very hot out. The ABC Family Switched at Birth sign the alphabet cards, deck of cards, and Catherine Kennish's book, The Switched at Birth Story. Yes, the book she wrote. To win all of that, you need to follow both Melina and I on Twitter and Instagram. And then you need to Instagram a photo with a description of what Switched at Birth means to you using the hashtag ABTVSAB, which stands for AfterBuzz TV, Switched at Birth. All of that by the end of the summer season, by the time we go on hiatus. So you've got a few weeks, so come up with something creative. And with that, let's go into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Melina, predict.
Daphne's going to become a cokehead.
Okay.
Or something.
All right.
Regina, I think, is just going to win Mother of the Year award. I think she's going to step up to the plate. I think Bay is going to get really sick, and we're going to have to discuss the brain aneurysm.
Oh.
Yeah, I think something's going to happen there, and then something weird's going to happen with Tank and Toby. I don't know what, though.
I think that Daphne is going to continue to spiral. From the looks of the promo for next week, she's hanging out with Nacho.
Oh, my God. Yes. This is huge.
Which is disgusting in story, not like he's a bad person or whatever.
Right.
But like in the story, I think it's disgusting that she's going that route.
About that.
Yeah. So her spiral is continuing. I don't know if she's going to continue doing coke, but I think she's going to keep doing stupid things. And I think she's going to come like this close to ruining her future medical career.
Yes. You don't think she will, though?
No, I don't think they'd let her do that.
Yeah.
And I think Toby and Miss Summers. That. I think that is...
Wait, didn't it show them, like, laying in bed together?
It showed them laying in bed, but I also think that, like, that's going to become a big, serious thing. And maybe he's going to... Because I predicted that Tank is going to unintentionally influence him to go back to school. I think that she's going to unintentionally influence him to become a teacher. I think he's going to want to go to school, to become a teacher, to work at Carlton. That's what I think is going to happen. Not in the next episode, obviously.
Right, but throughout the season.
Throughout the rest of the season.
Hopefully.
That's the
Whatever happened to Sarah?
Who's Sarah?
Isn't that her name?
Who? His wife?
No.
Who's
Sarah? Her name Sarah?
No.
Why can't I think of her name right now? It just escaped me.
Who was she?
She was the chick who, the sports chick and the whole thing, the affair with John and...
Simone? Oh, no. Sarah Lazar.
Yes, it was Sarah. Ooh.
Sarah Lazar.
Yes, because didn't her and Catherine become BFFs?
Yeah, I think that will eventually come back.
Okay, so you do think, okay, good.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that didn't conclude.
No.
I mean, we just got distracted with Angelo's death and all.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Angelo died.
He died. God. Didn't even get an invite for those people.
So, Melina, since we're doing a giveaway, you might as well tell people where they can find you online.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MelinaTV.
Awesome. And you can find me on Yael.tv. There you can find info about the beautiful styling from Siren's Boudoir and the gorgeous makeup from Melina. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. And we will see you next time on Switch to Birth.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.